Hi Southway, for today's quiz I thought we would do some lateral thinking puzzles and some brain teasers. There are a few different types of puzzles in here for you to have a go at. So delicate that if you say its name aloud, you break it. And number 2, what does a cave, a boy and a river have in common? So they all have something in common. What is it? Number 3, how can you throw a ball as hard as you can in one direction and yet it comes directly back to you? Number 4, a bit of maths here. How can you make the following sum add up to 19? So there's a sum below. How can you make it add up to 19? And for number 5, you have got 8 anagrams of different creatures. An anagram is where all the letters in a word or a couple of words have been mixed up to create some other words. So, number 1, for example, is lone egg deal. The brackets show you that there's 2 words, one with 6 letters and the other one with 5 letters. So you need to unscramble them to create a creature. Different type of question as well. You have got a picture that represents a phrase. So you need to try and work out what that phrase is that the picture is representing. Okay, so which group of letters is the odd one out? You've got 4 groups of letters there on your screen. Can you work out which group of letters is the odd one out? So this question is very similar to one that was in Miss Navarro's assembly last week. How many words can you make from the letters in the wheel? So each word must contain the hub letter I. So the hub letter is the middle letter in the circle. So can you find a 9-letter word and at least 10 other words using the letters below? So each one must have I in it. Another picture one. You need to try and work out what the phrase is that is being represented by the picture. So this time you are going to see 2 pictures. And it's asking you which of these timekeepers has the most moving parts. So is it the sand timer or is it the clock? Which one has the most moving parts? And we've got some more anagrams here. So you've got some sport anagrams this time. So you need to work out what each of those clues represent. So when you unscramble the words, what sport is it? Okay, for this question, you need to find 2 words that mean the same as the clue words, but which rhyme with each other. So you've got a loaf and cotton. So 2 words that mean the same as the clue words, loaf and cotton, but they must rhyme with each other. Okay, a whole lot of earth. How much earth is there in a hole that is 290 centimetres wide, 210 centimetres deep and 380 centimetres long? How much earth is there in a hole that is 290 centimetres wide, 210 centimetres deep and 380 centimetres long? Figure it out. Can you add one straight line to this sum to make it correct. 3 add 1 add 8 equals 349. Where can you add one straight line to make it correct? And our final question, what lion does not roar? What lion does not roar? Okay, and on to the answers. So the first one, what is so delicate that if you say its name aloud, you break it? The answer to that one was silence. Number 2, and I gave you a picture for this one as a bit of a hint, so let's see if you got this one. What does a cave, a boy and a river have in common? They all have a mouth. Question 3. How can you throw a ball as hard as you can in one direction and yet it comes directly back to you? Because if I threw a ball straight in front of me, it definitely wouldn't come back to me. But if I threw it up in the air, it would come back to me. For this one, I have already done what you needed to do. I have turned it upside down. So it said, how can you make the following sum add up to 19? And you had 6 add 1 add 6. So I've turned it upside down and it now says 9 add 1 add 9, which equals 19. Let's see how many of these anagrams you got right. So the first one, lone egg deal, was a golden eagle. The second one, tip up shampoo, was a hippopotamus. The third one, a lone pet, was an antelope. The fourth one, any car, was a canary. The fifth one, so emu, mouse. The sixth one, no calf, was a falcon. The seventh one at gorilla was an alligator. And the last one, number 8, main golf, was a flamingo. For this one, it was all slightly different, this question. You had to use the picture to find the phrase. And the phrase was top secret because it's the secret at the top. For this one, which group of letters is the odd one out? So you had 4 groups of letters. If you said them out loud to yourself, you might have found out the answer. ICU, ICAB, ICM, ICAP. So ICM is the only one which doesn't make sense as a sentence when you say it out loud. So you could say ICU and ICAB and ICAP, but you wouldn't be able to say ICM. I wonder how many words you made from the letters. Did you manage to find the 9-letter word? That was education. I wonder what other words you found as well. This next one is a very well-known phrase. It was think outside the box, because think had been put outside of the square. Which of these timekeepers has the most moving parts? It was, of course, the sand timer, because the sand timer has got so many grains of sand that are going through it. And the anagrams, number 1 was table tennis, number 2 was horse racing, number 3 was badminton, number 4 was tennis, number 5 was ice hockey, number 6 was gymnastics, number 7 was ice skating, number 8 was bowling, and number 9 was sailing. Now this was a bit of a tricky one. You had to find 2 words that meant the same as the clue words, but which rhymed with each other. So you had loaf and cotton. So what is another word for loaf? It is bread. So if you've got bread, maybe you can work out now, what is a word for cotton that you could use that rhymes with bread? It is thread. So you had bread and thread. So How much earth is there in a hole that is 290 centimetres wide, 200 centimetres deep, and 380 centimetres long? Hopefully none of you started working out the maths because it's a hole and so there is nothing in it. For this mathematical one, you had to figure it out. You had to add one straight line to this sum to make it correct. So where could you add a straight line to it? So you had 3 add 1 add 8 equals 349. You had to add it to the first addition sign. So you had 3 and then it changed to a 4, 1, so 341 add 8, which equals 349. And the last one, what lion does not roar? It is a dandelion. I hope you've enjoyed doing some brain teasers with us. Maybe you could create your own and share them with me, Miss Bowers and Miss Navarro. We would love to hear some that you have made up yourselves.